Today, we're diving into a topic that's been making headlines for decades: global warming. But here's the twist. We're exploring it through the lens of skepticism. That's right. We're taking a closer look at the arguments that question the mainstream narrative, and we're doing it with the help of a fascinating book titled Global Warming Skepticism for Busy People by Roy Spencer. Now, before we get started, let me make one thing clear. This isn't about denying climate change altogether. As Spencer himself says, climate has always changed and always will. Instead, this is about questioning the extent of human influence, the accuracy of climate models, and the urgency of the solutions being proposed. So, let's jump right in. Spencer kicks off the book by highlighting the explosion of claims linking virtually every natural event to human-caused carbon dioxide emissions. From more snow to less snow, more hurricanes to fewer hurricanes, the list goes on. He argues that this all-encompassing blame game lacks credibility and is often contradictory. He also points out the irony of Google down-ranking skeptical websites while promoting videos like Bill Nye's Climate 101, which Spencer criticizes as a misleading experiment that doesn't accurately demonstrate the greenhouse effect. He believes this bias makes it harder for people to access diverse perspectives and make informed decisions. Now let's talk about the science. Spencer acknowledges that CO2 is a greenhouse gas and that it contributes to warming. However, he emphasizes the uncertainty surrounding the magnitude of this effect. He argues that while the basic physics of CO2-induced warming is well understood, the predictions of catastrophic climate change rely on uncertain feedback processes, like how clouds and water vapor will respond to warming. He uses the analogy of a pot of water on a stove. Just like putting a lid on the pot reduces heat loss and increases the water's temperature, increasing CO2 reduces the Earth's ability to cool itself to space, leading to warming. But here's the catch. He believes the models are overestimating this effect. Spencer dives deep into the world of climate models, which he calls the holy grail of climate research. He points out that these models have consistently overpredicted the rate of warming over the past 40 years. For instance, satellite data, which he considers the most reliable, shows that the atmosphere has warmed at only about half the rate predicted by the models. He argues that this discrepancy raises serious questions about the models' accuracy and their ability to predict future climate change. He believes that the models are too sensitive to CO2 and that they overestimate the positive feedback effects that amplify warming. But Spencer doesn't stop there. He also challenges the notion that human activity is the primary driver of recent warming. He points to natural climate cycles, like the medieval warm period and the Little Ice Age, as evidence that the climate has changed dramatically without human influence. He cites studies that suggest the Arctic experienced significant warming in the 1920s and 1930s, long before the rise of industrial emissions. He also discusses the role of the oceans, arguing that chaotic changes in deep ocean circulation can cause global warming or cooling without any external forcing. This, he believes, is a crucial factor that is often overlooked in the climate debate. Now, let's talk about the benefits of CO2. Spencer argues that increasing CO2 levels have led to global greening, enhancing plant growth and agricultural productivity. He cites studies showing that higher CO2 levels improve plant water use, efficiency, and drought tolerance. He believes that the positive effects of CO2 on agriculture could outweigh the negative impacts of warming, if any. He also addresses the issue of ocean acidification, arguing that the term is misleading because the oceans are still alkaline. He suggests that some marine life might actually benefit from higher CO2 levels, just like plants on land. Spencer concludes by emphasizing the importance of skepticism in science. He believes that the current consensus on climate change is heavily influenced by political and financial incentives, and that dissenting voices are often silenced or marginalized. He urges readers to critically evaluate the evidence and consider alternative explanations for climate change. He argues that the focus on CO2 emissions as the sole cause of climate change is too narrow, and that we should be open to the possibility that other factors, including natural variability, play a significant role. So, there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of Roy Spencer's skeptical take on global warming. Whether you agree or disagree with his arguments, one thing is clear. The debate over climate change is far from settled, and as Spencer reminds us, questioning the status quo is a crucial part of scientific inquiry. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you found this discussion intriguing, I highly recommend picking up a copy of Global Warming Skepticism for Busy People. It's a thought-provoking read that challenges us to think deeper about one of the most pressing issues of our time. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and stay curious.
Visit BrightLearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.